immediate Premier League return. Each game now becoming bigger and more important than the last. Right of the box, into the area. Fatawu slipping as he slides one into the box. Daka with his back to goal, lays it off to Dewsbury Hall. Goals in back-to-back home games for Keenan Dewsbury Hall. This one gives Leicester the lead. Oh, and he's got in. Stansfield. He's played it straight off Stansfield, who was stood in front of the Danish goalkeeper. Then it's to the right to Yunus. It's a left-footed ball to the far post. MATCHDAY has scored the goal that will surely give Leicester 3 massive points here at King Power Stadium. When we look back, how big a day could this prove to be? Full time, Leicester City 2, Birmingham City 1.
Well, great celebrations at full time, wasn't it, on Saturday as the Foxes returned to the top of the Championship. It was a great Saturday all round, including those other results. Welcome along to Matchday Live here on Foxes Hub with me, Dan Bates, Matt Elliott and Jerry Taggart, the OGs, if you like, of the punditry team with us here on Foxes Hub. I mean that in a really nice way.
It took me a while to understand what that abbreviation means, but we'll settle for that.
We'll settle for that.
We'll have to.
It's not own goals.
I know.
But there was plenty of those between the two of you anyway. Two changes for Enzo Maresca from that side that beat Birmingham City on Saturday for the trip to Millwall this evening. Leicester, of course, beating Millwall 3-2 twice this season already. A repeat of that would keep the Foxes top of the Championship. Those two changes, one of them comes up top, one of them comes on the right wing. Yunus and Vardy come in, Fatawu and Daka drop out, both of those on the bench. This is the squad then in full. It's Hermansen in goal. Doyle retains his spot at left back. Fast, Vestergaard and Ricardo. Winks, Dewsbury Hall and Ndidi. If that midfield three is that midfield three for the remainder of the season, Leicester fans will be very happy, won't they? MATCHDAY and Yunus then support Jamie Vardy. On the bench, it's Stolarczyk, Justin, Cody, Albrighton, Ian Apsho, Chowdhury, Fatawu, Daka and Dennis Pratt. Neil Harris made a great start to his return to the Den, winning 3 of his first 4 games. Since then, though, they've only picked up a point in their following 4. So they find themselves just 2 places above the drop zone. He names an unchanged side to the one that lost away at Huddersfield on Saturday. They've got Sarkic in goal, Leonard, Cooper, Tanganga and McNamara across the back 4. Longman, Saville, Mitchell and Honeyman are the midfield 4 with Obafemi and Fleming. Fleming will probably be just in behind Michael Obafemi, who leads the line. Well, they're both of today's teams. We've already introduced you to the 2 guests this evening, hoping, Jerry, for a repeat of Saturday and a repeat, really, of what happened both times Leicester have played Millwall this season.
Yeah, both interesting games, to say the least, both previous games. But obviously Leicester would like the goal return to be the same, but not the goals conceded, and obviously the end result to be the same, which would be perfect. After what was a monumental win at the weekend, deservedly so, got exactly what they deserved on Saturday. But that's gone now. This is going to be a completely different game. Yes, you would like to think that the game will go somewhat the same way as it did on Saturday in regards to Leicester controlling it. It's not often you see a 4-4-2 formation or a 4-4-1-1. As you said, it might well be there. So you're expecting Leicester to control the midfield. But Millwall at home, they need the points. I think they're only 2 points above the relegation zone themselves. So they're desperate to get a result. And their home form in recent games has been okay. They've had 2 wins and a draw in their last 3 games at home. Their away form obviously hasn't been that great.
Yeah, but listen, Leicester don't need reminding today that how tough every game is, particularly this stage of the season. I mean, Tags is calling the victory on Saturday monumental, which it seemed, didn't it? It had that feel, but it's against Birmingham City, who are actually in the relegation zone now on the back of that and the other results on Saturday. Such is the situation where, ordinarily you wouldn't be probably calling it that. A 2-1 victory against a team in the relegation zone earlier in the season, you'd say, well, okay, Leicester need to improve a little bit, but it was just what the doctor ordered, wasn't it? In this instance, and every game was tough. Talking of Birmingham City, Millwall beat Birmingham not so long ago at the Den, so Leicester know how tough it is to beat Birmingham. They saw that at the weekend. Millwall beat Southampton away not so long ago as well. Okay, 4, 5, 6 games ago, but shows what they're capable of. So Leicester won't be thinking the hard work has been done. They've got it all to come this week, and Jerry's mentioned it in previous programmes. Tuesday, Friday, Millwall and Plymouth away is a fair old challenge, but one step at a time.
Yeah, I think, when you look back and analyse the game, we should really be sitting there saying a nice workout for Leicester, winning at home 3-0 or the 3-1. But there was a missed penalty by the referee, which, that goes to VAR. He's definitely given that on James Justin. There's the chance that I couldn't get my head around. It fell to Eunice, where he ended up falling over the ball from 6 yards out when it's just fell lovely to him on his left foot. So a really good chance there. So I think the tension in the stadium was building that much because Leicester had seen a couple of opportunities go amiss or go begging, and then to score it in the way they did at the time that they did. It was just really, but they definitely got what they deserve.
Yes, hopefully the same goes this evening at Millwall, of course. We are building up to kick-off here on Matchday Live. It's a 7:45 kick-off, a game that is available to watch wherever you are. There is a live UK stream. So all you need to do to watch all of the action with us on Fox's Hub tonight is scan that QR code there in the bottom right of your screen. If you also head on to Fox's Hub on the website as well, you can do so. It'll cost just £10 and you can watch all of the action with us and have all the reaction from us in the studio as well included in that £10. The QR code, as you can see, will be at the bottom of the screen, will be on the right-hand side of the screen as well throughout the build-up to the show. We'll also throw yourselves that way a number of times as we build up to kick-off. We've got plenty to get through as well here on Matchday Live. We'll look back at the game with Birmingham, of course, at the weekend. That vital winner coming from Steffi Mavididi so late on in the game. King Power Stadium absolutely erupted. Keenan Dewsbury-Hall got the first that afternoon. He speaks ahead of tonight's game with Millwall, and we'll look back at some classic strikes against tonight's opposition.
Boom.
It's about time I popped up. I haven't scored for a while on the. It's normally Nuge these days,
Normally
isn't it?
Nuge, isn't it? But we've got a Matt Elliott one. We'll take a closer look at that one and get Matt's reaction to it a little bit later on. But before we do any of that, we'll continue building up to the game. And we talked a lot, Matt, this year, haven't we? This season, rather, about momentum and about that's the key word, if you like, if you want to gain promotion from the Championship. Leicester lost a little bit of that, didn't they, around about a month ago? Hopefully, back-to-back victories now, they can get back into the stride.
Yeah, and they'll be looking to double up on that back-to-back victories. With these 2 tough away games, but games that they're capable of winning as well. And you talk about sort of generally getting back to form, but also it seems like hopefully individuals are coming back to the top of their game as well. Mavididi being one of them. Just off the top of the head, 3 goals lately. Chelsea, Norwich, Birmingham, all different types of goals, but all good quality goals as well. Dewsbury-Hall coming back to some type of form as well. I mean, he's always been relatively consistent there. Wilfred Ndidi's just probably getting into peak fitness, would you say, Tags? Like now, after a long stretch out. Ricardo's been out. He's important to have back. It's almost like a sash from right back to sort of left wing across that team. Bit of a wonky spine, shall we say. That's imperative for Leicester. And you've got good players sprinkled around as well. But Jamie Vardy tonight, he's looking pretty sharp as well. Gets the opportunity from the start, and it just, you mentioned it as well in the lineup. Basically, there with the 3 in midfield. When them 3 are playing regularly together and in decent form, Leicester takes some stopping. Yeah,
I don't think it's no coincidence that having Ricardo back fit, having Ndidi back, as Matt says, probably was that performance on Saturday, probably just about getting back to peak performance levels. that Leicester have all of a sudden picked up again and started, and players like Mavididi and even Keenan Dewsbury back on the score sheets on a semi-regular, if not regular basis, is because they've got what you would have to say they're 10 best outfield players on the pitch, give or take. You know, obviously Jamie Vardy swapping with Patson Daka, but you know that's neither here nor there in the big scheme of things. But the rest of that midfield obviously is where Enzo basically concentrates most of, you know, all the good stuff that has to come through that midfield.
Yes, goals for Keenan Dewsbury-Hall and Steffi Mavididi now in back-to-back games. Of course, they both scored against Norwich, and they both scored as well against Birmingham at the weekend.
Right of the box, into the area for Tarwu slipping as he slides one into the box. Daka with his back to goal, lays it off to Dewsbury-Hall. Goals in back-to-back home games for Keenan Dewsbury-Hall. This one gives Leicester the lead. Nearly half an hour into another crucial championship game. Daka laying the ball to Dewsbury-Hall by the penalty spot, left-footed, calmness personified. Oh, and he's got it. Stansfield's Hermansen was given the ball inside the 6-yard area as he was weighing up his options. He's played it straight off Stansfield, who was stood in front of the Danish goalkeeper. James Justin continues his run. Mavididi, chip ball to Ndidi, brilliant save, Ruddy. Straight at the goalkeeper, he pushes it into the air. The run from Ndidi was almost timed to perfection, as was the cross from Mavididi. Mavididi tripped, is he? No, the referee waves play on again. Fatawu, brilliant save again by Ruddy. Almost a trademark for Tawu goal, just outside of the area, left-footed, hit venomously. There was a slight curl on it, and Ruddy, a back heel to Mavididi, back to Vardy, back to Mavididi, and it's a save by Ruddy. Can anyone get there in a Leicester shirt? There's a melee inside the 6-yard area, and eventually Birmingham clear to the edge of the box. Then it's to the right to Yunus. It's a left-footed ball to the far post. Mavididi has scored the goal that will surely give Leicester 3 massive points here at King Power Stadium. A scorer at that end of the goal on Monday at Norwich, and he's headed home from close range from a brilliant Yunus cross. The substitute delivering the killer pass. Mavididi heading home what surely will be a massive, a crucial Leicester City goal late in this game.
Steffi Mavididi was indeed the hero, wasn't he, on Saturday? It was. I haven't remembered King Power Stadium like that for a while, actually. Just the way it erupted, everybody together, Jerry, when that goal went in was a real sight to behold.
Yeah, as I said, you know, you look at the chances that you didn't show the pullback. The tension was just building. Leicester completely controlled the whole of that second half, you have to say. I know Birmingham had 1 or 2 forays in the first, got the equalising goal. But the whole of the second half, Leicester were just camped. I know that did they have 1 or 2 shots, but, you know, nothing. And so for the game to go that long without Leicester, you know, going back in front, it's going to cause that tension. In fact, we could all feel it. We could all sense it. And then to come up with a goal like that, I mean, such a real quality from Yunus with that delivery. And myself and Matt were just talking about the fullback who may give Mavididi a really difficult afternoon, Laird. For some reason, he comes inside the middle of the pitch. And we still can't understand why, but thankfully he did, because it just left Mavididi free on that back post with, I'm not saying it was a simple header, but as simple as it could be with a delivery. Like all he had to do was hit it into the ground and it was in the back of the net. And still difficult in itself.
Yeah, well, like yourself, Tex, I felt that Leicester would. I was quite easy, comfortable at half-time, at ease. Sorry, you know, even though Leicester conceded in the manner they did, I just thought, okay, you know, it's something that's possibly going to happen occasionally. It hasn't happened too often that Hermansen's been directly culpable for conceding a goal, but listen, it's not totally unexpected. even though it was extremely sloppy in itself. But at half time, I was thinking, dramas. Leicester are quite comfortably the better team, really, if they want to be. They know what's at stake. I'm sure they'll up the ante a little bit and take the game to Birmingham, which they did for 15 minutes or so, and then it sort of levelled out a bit. You thought, hang on a minute, this is not going quite to plan. That's where I think the tension came in, because they seemed to sort of not run out of ideas, but they weren't peppering Birmingham's goal. Very occasionally, he was brought into action, Ruddy, their keeper. But then, just when you sort of thought, well, it's not going to be their afternoon, missed opportunity with the 2 results elsewhere, Eunice comes up with that delivery, and Mavididi comes up with the goods, and everything's well, all is happy, and looking forward positively now, top of the league, aren't they?
Yeah, 2 very different goals, Jerry, weren't they? The 2 Leicester strikes.
Yeah, tenacity. First goal from Fatawu, and clever players also, clever hold-up play when the ball comes back from Patson Dagger, because he has to react quickly. Yeah. He's not sure if that ball's coming back to him from Fatawu, who's on the floor. So it's quick thinking from Dagger. 1 touch control, 1 touch delay off, and then the finish is as cool as you like. And that's a really difficult finish, and it doesn't look difficult. But the one thing that you can't do here is put your foot through it full blast. And when you see Kinnear, he knows he can't do that. But he just steers it into the corner. If you look, he can't set himself, no backlift on it whatsoever. He's standing on his right foot, brings his left foot back and just puts it and steers it into that corner. So not an easy finish, surrounded by red shirts as well. So yeah, a really good finish there. But really quick thinking and good tenacity from Fatawu, who was obviously on the ground. And
it was Fatawu's replacement, Eunice, also the replacement this evening, if you're just joining us. Eunice on the right wing, Jamie Vardy up top. It was Eunice who put the ball in for the winner for Mavididi.
Yeah, Fatawu contributing there in the first goal. He was hit and miss, to say the least, wasn't he, at the weekend. Eventually got withdrawn. Enough was enough, sort of thing. He kept playing the ball too heavily to indeed his runs inside. Different types of players. But Eunice coming on, he'd be champing at the bit. He'd be hugely frustrated he hasn't had more opportunities. When he's come on, he's shown without doubt he's got technical ability, and he's done that hugely in this instance there. As he picked his man out, he certainly picked out his area there and clipped it in. You thought at first maybe it was a bit too lofted, and perhaps someone will come and claim that, the goalkeeper.
Because the wind was causing havoc.
That was an issue. It was an issue in Leicester's first goal as well. I think Stansfield bounced one off his shoulder, stroke head, and it fell into Fatawu's path. But interesting that Eunice has been given the opportunity tonight from the off, away from home, where you might have to dig deep a little bit in terms of defensive work, which is not. Eunice is willing, but he's not as able as Fatawu in that. But he brings a little bit more finesse, doesn't he? And he's got an opportunity to prove himself yet again. It's been a bit stop-start for him, but fair play after the weekend.
Yeah, I think he's a good asset to have on the bench, Fatawu. Depending on how the game goes, obviously, because you know what you're going to get from him all round in his all-round game, whether it's defensively or attacking. He's direct going forward. He loves coming inside, getting shots off. He's always trying to be positive. On Saturday, as Matt's already said, it didn't quite happen, but his general demeanour is always positive, always wanting to be on the front foot, whether it's going forward and even defensively. He gives Leicester so much coming back and helping out defensively.
That would have been a classic goal, wouldn't it?
I mean, that's a great bit of skill there, William Meggs, and obviously we've only seen that shot from that type of distance and early on the pitch once this season go into the back line at Bournemouth in the Cup, I think it was.
Yep.
So that said, it's disappointing.
Out of 230 efforts.
Yeah. Well, he's still a kid.
He'll get there. He'll get there.
He's still a kid. He's still a kid.
He has the capability.
You've been mightily impressed with him, haven't you?
I absolutely. He's a breath of fresh air. And then I really do. And he needs to hone them skills, as Matt rightly says, but that'll come in time. Eunice has that guile. He's got good awareness. He's got good composure under pressure. He can see a pass. He knows how to dig himself out of a situation. So maybe Enzo's going, well, maybe we need a little bit more of that this evening, you know, to get us going. And that's why you see the changes. But I don't think it's a bad move, you know, given young Fatawi a rest or starting them on the bench tonight.
Yeah, while we're on the subject of selections, it's quite intriguing that Doyle starts again today. You know, when at half time we were sort of thinking, we knew that Justin was coming on, and we're thinking, well, okay, no obvious injury. And to me, and guessing yourself, Ted, no obvious reason why Doyle would be withdrawn, especially. But then, so he gets taken off, Justin comes on, does pretty well, but then Doyle gets to start tonight. I'd like to know what
the only thing I could think was that Mayoshi was causing a few issues coming inside, and it was a bit too easy for him there to try and get passes in the front man, and he had one or two shots. He actually had one or two opportunities, Mayoshi, which he turned down to have shots when he should have done. And I think maybe was that the reason why he's taken Doyle off, because you couldn't allow that to keep carrying on, you know, into the second half. I don't know, but that's, as you say.
Yeah, no, you're probably right on that. Because Mayoshi was a little bit of a threat as well, but drifted out of the game, didn't he? But then, you know, you can have that same issue possibly tonight. But it's interesting that he backs him.
Yeah.
Now he's like, okay, perhaps he picked him up on it and said, listen, you need to prevent this, etc. But anyway.
Well, I guess maybe the Saturday, Tuesday, Friday games may play something into it, but just the two changes from Enzo Maresca. Don't forget, tonight's game is available to you. There is a live UK stream, which you can purchase for just £10, which means you can watch the game with us on Fox's Hub. There's a QR code there in the bottom right of the screen throughout the build-up as well. We'll keep reminding you about this. So if you click through on that or head on to lcfc.com/Fox's Hub, then you can purchase your pass for £10 and watch all of the action with us. Incidentally, on commentary tonight, we've got Chris Parrott and Ewan Roberts. And speaking of commentary, Jerry Taggart, you were on commentary, weren't you, for us on Saturday? You've mentioned it a little bit yourself earlier, the Eunice Atgun chance that fell. Garnered somewhat of an interesting reaction, I think, and we can take a listen, Jerry, to you reacting to Eunice and his lack of an effort, if you like, to the goalmouth scramble fairly late in that game.
Vardy, a back heel to Mavididi, back to Vardy, back to Mavididi, and it's a save by Ruddy. Can anyone get there in a Leicester shirt? There's a melee inside the 6-yard area, and eventually Birmingham clear to the edge of the box.
Deary me, I just want to see this again, because it looks as if good play between Vardy and Mavididi. As that ball comes across, look at Eunice. What's he doing? He has to have a shot. Incredible. It falls to him. Whoa, have a shot.
Just the emotion. So all the emotion and the tension, Dan.
That's what it was. It was one of those games, though, wasn't it? It was one of those moments, because that came so near the winner, actually, didn't it? That it was that late, and it was like, was that the chance?
Well, I give my thoughts about what I thought he should have done, Matt.
No, I have to concur.
It shows he cares, though. It shows you care, Jerry, doesn't it? As we all do.
I think John Dunn was grabbing him somewhere he shouldn't, wasn't he?
Yeah, maybe we'll get more of the same from Chris Parrott and Ewan Roberts on commentary tonight. Right, let's get the reaction then from some of the Leicester City players to that victory over Birmingham. We set up a camera in first team reception at Seagrave to capture some of their reactions.
Saturday's win in one word: epic. Thank you very much.
Breezy. Exciting. One word. Just smooth side. Unbelievable. Yeah. Believe.
Amazing.
Simple.
Important.
Needed.
Is this what you're doing now? Is this a new thing? Is this what we're doing?
Some interesting reactions there from the lads at training this week. There's key themes though, wasn't there? Needed, important, massive. Were just three of those, and you kind of got the sense of that, didn't you? Really, because of what had gone on in the other two games across the day. I think that's why, as you've said, that there was that even bigger outpouring because you knew how big it was, and it knew that it put Leicester top.
Yeah, I think the players, the fact that they're doing things like that and themselves, and that they're recognising themselves, and not afraid to sort of semi-publicly admit it. Say how important a game it was, wouldn't it? Because of everything around it, the other results as well, like we mentioned, it could have a massive impact. It doesn't mean anything's done and dusted, far from it, but it's got Leicester back into a more settled position. Relief was a word that was used at the weekend, and you can sort of sense that a little bit, but excitement as well of the position it's put Leicester back in now for the remainder of the season. But of all those, Kelechi I enjoyed most. He's pondering. Yeah, he's having a proper
ponder,
think.
doesn't he?
He's getting all deep and meaningful, isn't he? But nice to see.
Yeah, I think we could be sat here, Leicester, with what will be 17 points, but realistically, you could probably say about a 10-point lead, 11-point lead with 5 or 6 games to go. And
that win's probably changed the mood, though, isn't it?
Correct, but we're not. It's a 1-point lead, and then it's a 2-point lead over third spot or something like that, or a 2-point lead.
Yeah.
But what that win did do, as Matt rightly says, is get you back in the pole position. And the performances of late have been really good, really solid. Everybody looks solid. Everybody looks confident again. Everybody looks assured in what they're doing. And that, for me, is the biggest improvement I've seen in the last 2 to 3 weeks since the international break.
Yeah,
definitely. And so hopefully, with these back-to-back wins, they can now go on and break down that barrier, that final barrier that they need to break. And probably undeserved, let's be honest, but it means nothing. And that is the most important thing. And it means absolutely nothing if you do not go out, perform, and understand what's still about to come your way, which I'm sure they do understand.
Yeah, Leeds play tonight as well. Ipswich don't play until tomorrow. So technically when Leicester play, if they win tonight, big if, obviously tough trip to Millwall, if they win tonight, they go 5 clear of Ipswich, having played the same amount of games.
So yeah, so like that. So listen, it looks good. Doesn't
That's
it?
An incentive right
with
there.
With not many games remaining as well, and so many ifs and buts. But like Jerry's mentioned it there, though, you've got to ensure that you go about your business right tonight. And I think because of they've got their confidence back, certainly to a large degree, that will help them going forward because they're not wondering or questioning each other and themselves. They know what they're capable of, and they've got somewhere close to back to that sort of level.
I think.
Go on, mate.
So I was just about to say, sorry. I think it's that tight at the top still, and okay, Leicester have the game in hand, which at this moment in time,
one poor result, isn't it?
Exactly, is immaterial, absolutely immaterial. But I think it's that tight at the top that when you're in that position, and I'm talking about all 3 teams, by the way, here, who are at the top vying for the 2 spots. You cannot look over your shoulder and worry about what they're about to do. You literally have to focus on what you're doing. When you've got a 3-point lead or say a 6-point lead or a 7-point lead or an 8-point lead at the top, everybody's looking over the shoulder thinking, well, we best win tonight. Oh, we've got to go again. Because, if they get one result and we don't, then the pressure's really on us. Leicester can't afford to even think about that because it's that tight at the top. They literally have full steam ahead, eyes forward, face the front, stop worrying about what's behind you, and just keep playing on and keep playing through until someone tells them, taps them on the shoulder, hopefully, that, okay, boys, job done.
Yeah, well, unless they're in the best position of the 3.
Yes.
Now, and then that, for me, is the easiest to deal with out of the 3, I think, because, I said it earlier in the season, and it's unfortunately sort of proved to be the case. The teams have caught up, but like one blip from Ipswich, like you're saying, 5 points could be. Leicester can afford a tiny bit of slip, but they can't think like that. But that have it in their minds, boys, if we do what we're capable of, which is winning all the games, or I know you don't want to look that far ahead, but let's set 2 games in the heads, 2 away games, boys. We win these 2. Have that determination and what that will bring them, and they can go on from there. But it's in their hands, so they've got to be positive about that, not sensitive.
That's a good statement he makes, Matt. The short-term goal for Leicester now is these next 2 games. Yeah. Because they're away games. They're against teams that are struggling towards the bottom of the league. Can they maximise that? The other teams have got home games, I think. I know Leeds is at home tonight.
Leeds at home to Sunderland, Ipswich at home to Watford
tomorrow. Right. So you're expecting them to win them games.
Yeah.
More than you would say Leicester winning tonight and say on Friday. But then after that, then you've got a home game against West Brom coming up, a home game against Southampton coming up. So yeah, it'd be a big fill if they can negotiate these next 2 away games.
Yeah, one of the key players in these next couple of away games could be Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. He's been nominated, hasn't he, for the Championship Player of the Season. He spoke to our commentator, John Dunn, though, after the Birmingham City game, as well as looking ahead to this one with Millwall.
Yeah, I'll be honest, when Steffi's goal went in, I had goosebumps. That was an unbelievable feeling. Because, look, I don't know, the game felt like it might have been slightly petering out, even though we was on the front foot, we was around the edge of their box, but when you have 10 men behind the ball, it's hard to break down, and you need little moments of quality, an individual brilliance, great cross from Yunus and good header from Steffi, and yeah, when that goes in, moments like that, you won't forget in a hurry.
Does it kind of, even though you would have liked to have got the second goal earlier, it then makes it special, it makes it memorable, particularly if Leicester get what they want from this season?
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it, positive way to look at it. I think I'd rather get early goals, so it's a bit more comfortable, but in terms of adrenaline rushes, there's not many better than that. I'll be honest, I thought just the mentality of the squad. Look, it's a sloppy goal to concede on the stroke of half time, and it's the mentality to just forget about it, continue doing what we're doing, and wait for that one opportunity. And when it comes, take it. And we did that, so I'm buzzing.
Not sure what view you had of the winner. Steffi described the cross as juicy. I'm not sure how you described the header, but as you say, it was just an unbelievable moment at the top end of the ground as well.
Yeah, I made a little run into the box. I was quite tired at the time, so when I seen Steffi powering in the back post, I thought, this is it. And look, he gets a bit of stick for his head at times, but the last 2 games he's put one on a plate for me with his head, and he scored with his head. So I don't know if he's doing extra sessions after training about heading, because yeah, he's definitely improved. But yeah, top goal, good performance, and on to the next.
The cliche is 1 game at a time. It's Millwall next. It's a big week ahead, but Millwall first up. What are the expectations there? It's a unique place to go.
Yeah, it's tough. It's an iconic ground in English football. But again, we know our job. We know what we need to do. We'll have a game plan. They're going to try and make it tough for us, of course. But every game until now and the end of the season is tough, because pretty much every team's got something to play for still. So that it is a cliche, but it's true. It's 1 game at a time now. And then what if you do that and you keep getting positive results, before you know it, you're nearly there. So not going ahead of ourselves. It's been a great day, but on to another one Tuesday.
To go into that Millwall game on the back of back-to-back wins here must give you a massive boost.
Yeah, 100%. Look, no hiding. We was in a slump. Confidence is probably a bit low the last couple of weeks, but it's worth it when you have a dressing room that happy at the end of full time here today. Fantastic 6 points in the last 2 home games. Great support in the last 2 home games. Honestly, it helps us, gets us through, gets us over the line, and yeah, credit to the fans. And now got a couple of away games. I know they'll come in their numbers, and I'm hoping we can make it a good, positive day for them.
Yeah, spot on there from Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. Leicester fans travelling in their numbers to the Den. Millwall away on a Tuesday evening. There is a live UK stream available for the game. Those of you that haven't been able to make the trip down to South London, then you can watch all of the action with us on Fox's Hub. All you need to do is scan that QR code or head on to lcfc.com/Fox's Hub. It'll cost just £10 and you can watch the full game and all of the build-up and analysis from the 3 of us is all included in that as well. So well worth heading on to Fox's Hub. He's and we've spoken about him a number of times, Kieran Dewsbury-Hall, haven't we? Spoke about him in depth before the game on Saturday because of that Player of the Season nomination for the Championship. He's been vital, Jerry, hasn't he, this season?
Oh, he's massive, isn't he? He's a massive player. I mean, obviously for Leicester City, but, you know, he's genuinely, along with one or two others who could genuinely go to the next level and not be out of place. As simple as that. And at times he's carried Leicester this season, not with his goals, with his assists, but just with his all-round performances, should I say. So, yeah. And, you know, you could give him man of the match near enough every week, couldn't you? But, you know, I like to look at little other aspects of other players' games and you know, share it around. But that's how good he's been. Literally 75% of the games that he's played, and you could give him man of the match.
12 goals, 14 assists in all competitions.
Not bad from midfield, is it? Does a good solid job in the defensive aspect as well, doesn't he? You know, works his absolute socks off, keeps going right to the end. But yeah, he's really developed as a player, you know, as an individual as well. You can see by, you know, he's been given a lot of plaudits, you know, about how he plays, but also how he comes across and how he comes in interviews. It's he speaks pretty well. Everything he said there was bang on. Not getting carried away, but you know, stating not the obvious, but stating things very clearly. Did well to give the supporters a mention as well, because you know, and that's not just saying things for the sake of it. There, you know,
He means it.
Yeah, genuinely, you can see that, and he's right to do so. The supporters huge, because it does transmit itself. You know, the tension, the uneasiness, if there is that from supporters, and the supporters have been superb the last couple of home games, and you know, you've seen what happens as a result. Leicester keep going and going till the end, and they got their rewards.
Some of the goals he scored as well, they're just the different types of goals that he gets from midfield. So important, Jerry, and every single one seems important. He seems to score goals that matter, actually.
Yeah, well, you go back to, this is the one, I was going to say the first game of the season, nobody's got two, but how big is that? You know, a game that Leicester, I'm not saying they didn't deserve to get something out of it, but very easily couldn't have got anything out of it, you know. And he pops up with the goods. Again, this is a great goal, this, for me, at Birmingham away. I mean, the power he shows, he's like a runaway train, isn't he? They just can't keep up with him. And he's got boundless energy. And like you say, and in those crunch moments, he's just got the quality to dispatch balls into the back of the net.
Needs one with his right foot for the whole package. That's unlikely to happen, mind you. But yeah, different types of goal, but they're also in a sort of similar area, the majority of them, in that inside left-hand channel. Obviously, you mentioned there about, you know, the opposite eights getting on the end of each other's cross. Normally it's Keenan getting on the end of Ndidi. Earlier in the season it was, where they're sort of making penetrating runs. But yeah, he's an intelligent lad, Keenan. You know, you can see he's taken on board what Maresca's asked him to do, and as a result, he's flourished. You know, partly because of his own endeavours, but also I think the coach has helped him a lot as well, develop into the player that he is, and he'll go on to be an even better one.
Yeah, Kieran Dewsbury-Hall is alongside Crysencio Somerville and Sammy Smodics in that Player of the Season nomination for the EFL. I think he'll get a lot of Leicester players' votes for the Leicester Player of the Season. Ewan Roberts joins us live from the Den this evening at Millwall. Firstly, good evening to you, Ewan. How is it down there? And does Kiernan get your vote for the Leicester Player of the Season?
He's got to be right up there with what he's produced, and he's taken this game to another level, Dan. And good evening, lads. How are we?
Oh, good, mate.
Good evening.
It's to be fair, it's a sunny day here It's a sunny night here in South London, but it's cold. It is cold. We're opposite the Dockers stand. To my right is Cold Blow Lane. Yeah, it is cold, and it is blowing to my left, where the Leicester fans are going to be seated. I think they're opening both tiers of that stand, which they don't do too often. I think that shows the size and the magnitude of this game. And I've been listening to you since the programme started, lads, and I mean, that was a massive, massive moment in the season on the 87th minute at the King Power on Saturday. Because of what happened at Carrow Road, because what was happening down the M69 at Coventry, it was probably one, if not the biggest moment of the season so far. And to be fair, we've had a few with Leicester this season, but the relief and the joy on everybody's faces was plain to see when Steffi Mavididi planted his forehead on that Eunice cross.
Ewan.
Hello, Matty.
Hello, mate. How did you know it was me, not Tag? How was the journey, mate?
Not bad, not bad. Just over 2 hours. A14, A11, M11, North Circular, through the Rothwell Tunnel. Little bit of traffic. To be fair, it took me 15 minutes to do less than a mile and a half when I got close to the new den. It's not so new anymore. I mean, I remember playing here in a game for Leicester when there was 3 sendings off. Terry Hurlock, Pat Van Den Hauw got sent off for them. David Oldfield got sent off for us. So it's a little bit of the older den now. But one thing you're guaranteed here at den is going to be an absolutely terrific atmosphere.
Yeah, the not so new den, I suppose. But Terry Hurlock. Now there's a name to pick from the past. Well, he wouldn't have lasted too long in the modern game, would he? That's for sure. But yeah, no. Does it give you any comfort to know that I was with you in spirit for every minute of that journey, son?
Mate,
and on the way back, I will be again.
I'll be comforting you when you're on that long journey down to Plymouth on Friday.
I can actually feel a little bit of an illness coming on. I think Gerald might have to cover for me.
You sound as if you're coming down with something.
Yeah, it's taking its time to kick in. But anyway, on to footballing matters. Ewan, Millwall have had a little bit of a tough time of late.
Yeah.
You know, had a turn in form, an upturn in form, and Neil Harris took over. Leicester, you know, the opposite ends of the table, the two teams. Millwall at home. How do you see them going about business? Do you think they'll, you know, sort of sit back and rely on the counter, or will they try and be brave as lions as they're meant to be?
I think Leicester will dominate the game. I think they'll dominate the ball as they normally do. I don't think Millwall have got the quickest players. I look at the 2 boys up front. Obafemi's got a little bit of pace about him. He got 1 goal in 11 appearances since he came on loan from Burnley. Zion Fleming is probably their best player. They paid £2 million for him from Fortuna Sittard. When he get 15 goals in 43 appearances. Last season he's got 7 in 41. George Honeyman, you know, I don't think he's a flying machine down the left-hand side. I think he's more of a central midfielder. I think the most pace they've got is Ryan Longman, the right winger who they signed from Hull. So I don't think the counter-attack will be as big a problem as it might be against different opposition tonight. I mean, what you have to do, Matty, and you and Jerry will know, when you come to this place, you've got to compete, you've got to scrap, you've got to battle for everything, because that is, I was going to say that's one thing. Those are 3 elements that the Millwall fans demand of their players.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Ewan. We'll hear from you again just before kick-off. He is on co-commentary duty alongside Chris Parrott for the game that is available for you. There is a UK stream available if you head to lcfc.com/foxtishub or scan that QR code there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. It'll take you exactly where you need to go. The game will be just £10. You can watch all of the action with us, with Chris Parrott and with Ewan Roberts, summing up what hopefully will be 3 Leicester City victories in a row. The Leicester team that hopefully will be achieving that feat is slightly different to the one that beat Birmingham City at the weekend. 2 changes. Jamie Vardy is up top and Eunice is on the right wing. That means Daka and Fatawu drop to the bench. It's Hermanson in goal, Doyle, Fass, Vestergaard and Ricardo across the back 4. Dewsbury Hall, Winks and Ndidi and the midfield 3 with Eunice and Mavididi supporting Jamie Vardy. From a Millwall point of view, they're unchanged from the side that conceded in the 96th minute to Huddersfield away to lose at the weekend. It's Sarkic in goal for them, Leonard, Cooper, Tanganga and McNamara across the back 4. Longman, Saville, Mitchell and Honeyman are the midfielders with Obafemi and Zian Fleming, we think, leading the line for the Lions this evening. Let's get the perspective of one of the Leicester City players down at the Den. He's been speaking to our commentator Chris Parrott. Here's Harry Winks.
Harry, the start of another very big week and a big end to the season. How much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's, we know the challenge that Millwall possess, so it's important that we're at our game and we're ready to battle and fight. But a game we're looking forward to, and hopefully we can come away with a win.
2 huge home wins last week. How's that changed the dynamic coming into this one?
Yeah, it's definitely more positive. I think everybody's a lot more confident again now, which is good after a difficult spell that we had. So it's important that we can try and build on that. You know, we've spoken about the last 2 games, and now it's important that we take the momentum into the next fixtures we have.
What are you expecting from Millwall? Of course, won here in the FA Cup, but they've changed managers since then.
Yeah, it's going to be aggressive. We know what they're like. It's going to be a fight. You know, they're in the relegation fight as well, so they've got something to play for. It's going to be a difficult match, but as long as we can match their energy and match their fight, then hopefully we can try and get on top of the game and try and come away with a good result.
3 points would take you over 90 points, which is a remarkable amount. Have you spoken about points tallies between now and the end of the season, or is it just a case of one game as it comes?
No, it's game by game. Today's all we're thinking about. It's about winning today. We're not thinking about the next game or opposition or anyone else. We're thinking only about today, which is Millwall, and trying to get 3 points.
Harry Winks there, speaking to our commentator this evening, Chris Parrott. Thinking only about tonight, Jerry. Final couple of points from you both before we hand over to that commentary team. Huge one, thinking only of tonight and the result tonight, and hopefully getting the 3 points this evening.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Just important that they go all the way till the end. I think at the start that Millwall have conceded over a third of their goals in the last quarter of games.
You got it in eventually, son.
I did.
Better late than never.
Well, were you going to get it in?
No.
Right. So I thought I'd get it in because he'd forgotten. So yeah, I think it's just important to go all the way to the end. And Harry Winks is absolutely spot on. You just focus on what's in front of you, which is Millwall tonight. And usual, give it everything you've got.
Yeah, the way Harry Winks and Dewsbury Hall and other players, you can tell that there's a bit, the positivity is back within them, the confidence is there. Now listen, you have to work hard to maintain that and keep that, but the opportunity is there for them, and I fully expect them to follow through on the back of the last 2 games tonight.
Yep, huge opportunity for the Foxes to make it 3 wins from 3 this evening. Thanks to Matt and Jerry for their build-up this evening ahead of this big game down at the Den. A game that is, of course, as we've said, available to you. There is a UK stream available. There it is. There's the QR code. So all you need to do is scan that. You've got plenty of time right up until kickoff, even at the start of the game, if you do miss the start. If you scan that code, it'll take you exactly where you need to go. You can also head on to lcfc.com/foxeshub. The UK stream will be available. All the details are there. It'll cost just £10, and you can hopefully watch the Foxes get another vital 3 points before the end of the season.
If you are watching on lcfc.com, just sit back and relax. If you are watching on social media, the live stream will finish shortly. If you want to continue enjoying our coverage, you'll need to head over to lcfc.com/FoxesHub and purchase one of our game passes. If you are watching in a territory where the game isn't live on TV, you'll be able to watch a live video stream on Foxes Hub. Please visit lcfc.com/territories to check. If you can't find your location, live audio commentary is still available. You'll need to have an lcfc.com account before you purchase your Game Pass. If you already have one, please sign in and select your product at lcfc.com/FoxesHub. Select the Buy button and you'll be taken to the payment page. Once you've followed the simple payment steps, press Continue at the bottom of the screen and you'll be taken to the Foxes Hub homepage. If you purchased a video pass, please select Watch Live from the Foxes Hub drop-down menu. If you purchased a Listen Live pass, please select Listen Live. If you purchased a seasonal or monthly video pass and the game is not being shown in your territory, please select Listen Live. If you are having a payment or technical issue, please email leicestertvsupport@streamamg.com. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the match.